Hey everyone, this is Max. Today we will discuss the Tobique license. So it's been already 2 years since it was launched back in 2023 when the Curaçao decided that they will move a completely different way, completely destroyed the previous regulation. There was a vacant spot on the market, and a couple of countries, 2 countries actually, decided to take a role in this business and to move this business forward and to actually present new licenses. So the Tobique was one of the 2 licenses that are currently very popular. And since it's been 2 years already, I think it's worth to discuss the license because currently there are already over 60 companies that have the Tobique license.
Max Kerry, the one who's carrying big business. At its finest, need a license, easy decision. It's getting done when Max is stepping in. We got what you need, the licensed gentleman. The advice that you need, ask Max. Hit it, get you right, get you on track. The advice that you need, ask Max. Hit it, get you right, get you on track.
So what is Tobique? Tobique is the first nation in Canada. So just like the Kahnawake license, the oldest one, since 1996. Tobique is the New Brunswick, and the Kahnawake is just next to Montreal. So it's the first nation that has their own laws, their own police, their own business practices, and everything. And they are moving within the framework of their own legal system. However, they do not want to fight with the official government of Canada, and that's why they normally restrict regulated regions. The Tobique itself restricts just a very few regions and countries. So the United States, United Kingdom, New Brunswick itself, and the Ontario, because Ontario is a regulated part of Canada, so they will restrict Ontario as well. And also the FATF countries. There are plenty of countries, just like Myanmar, Cuba, North Korea, and other sanctioned countries. The entire list of the countries you can download below this video. I will leave you the link. It takes several weeks to get the Tobique license, so it's very, very, very fast, very streamlined. The processes are very well, like it was working like a well-oiled machine. Compared to the Curaçao currently, for example, where the license takes 6-7 months to get. It holds the middle ground in practically everything. So the middle ground in the price. It's not as cheap as the Anjouan, it's not as expensive as the Curaçao. The compliance process is more complicated than the Anjouan, but not as complicated as the Curaçao. So as I said, it's kind of the middle ground for everything. And many businesses that want to have slightly better license, what I mean is by having the license has a slightly better reputation, they of course choose the Tobique license and they are ready to pay the price for the license because it basically positions them as more trustworthy business. And the Tobique really pays attention to the complaints and attention to your business, to the legal part of it. And you will be forced to basically follow the rules and procedures and regulations of the Tobique license as they are explained very well in all the provided documentation, which you can also download for free, like on our website or on other resources in Google. So all the information is available in public domain and you can get it. And there are literally 2 licenses, B2B and B2C license. So if you are online casino, you are a sports betting website, probably you want to start the lottery, then it's the B2C license, as it will be client facing. And if you are a B2B business, so for example, you are a platform provider or an aggregator or probably a live studio, then the Tobique also fits your business and you can license your business under the Tobique license, right? So for online casinos, I mean, the most important aspects is that you have all the licensed games, all the agreements in place. If you have your own games and you decide, okay, we will develop something like Stake Originals or something like this, right? Then it's very important to have the RNG certification just to make sure that your games are trustworthy and it's certified with a third-party company, like approved test labs that are doing this. And the process is pretty quick as well for the certification. So certification itself probably will take a month, licensing itself a couple of weeks. So it's possible to get all this done within the 3 months period and basically go to the market. For the B2B market, for the B2B licenses and for the B2B businesses, certification is also required. So if you are a platform, then it's going to be the GLI standard certification for the platform, and also for live studios. As you may run the live studio, for example, there are also GLI standard certification, and Tobique will require that as well. Many platforms, they decide not to just sell the platform to the turnkey operators, but they also want to start the white labeling business model. So sometimes people kind of do not understand that white label is not the license. White label is the business model. So if you're on the platform, and for example, John comes to you and John says, listen, I want to start my online casino. I want to take your platform and I want to work under the platform of you, yourself, your platform's license, right? And in this case, yes, it is possible. This is the white labeling. So John will tell you the domain that they want to add under your license, and you will basically add this license and John can start operate. Everything is not that easy though, because now it's 21st century and John has to be checked against, a list of many things. Probably John has some criminal records and nobody knows about this. So of course, any regulation doesn't want criminals to run any online casinos. So you as a platform provider, you will have to check the John. You will have to get all the documents together required by the Tobique. So you will have to do the full KYC and the compliance process to make sure that the John is trustworthy, that the John has everything he needs to run the business. The white labeling itself is the business models that allows your operator, therefore John, to not to set up their own structure, to not to apply for the license, therefore to optimize his expenses, right? But since you own the license, you are responsible for every single operator, John, Jack, Billy, Nelly, and everyone who comes to you. You are responsible for all the operation financially and legally. Therefore, you have to have a plan on how you will control the situation. Practically speaking, how you will control the cash flow. Because there are situations where John can come to you, he may start the business, and in the end, he may run away like a thief in the night without paying the final customers, without paying the clients. And you will then lose the clients and you will be responsible for that. So there should be a system, there should be a plan how you will control the cash flow of John and Jack. And then to move on forward. For white label business model, you will need 2 licenses. You will need a B2B as a platform provider, you will need a B2C license, as a license that faces the end customer. And John and Jack and all the operators and their domains will be then added under your B2C license and move on forward. It doesn't save any time to John and Jack though, because it used to, like 4 or 5 years ago, it was very fast, no compliance was required. Right now, all these compliance procedures and all the documents take as much time as they would need to get the master license themselves. However, there are businesses, there are operators that still want to start the white label business model, so it can be very, very handful for you. If you are a platform provider. The price of the B2B license and the B2C license are completely the same. So if you start the platform and you want to provide white labeling, you will need 2. And it comes down to $36,000 for the licensing, additional $7,000 for the compliance costs. But there are much more things to be done to actually to make this thing work. You need the company, we have to go through the compliance, we have to get the documents right, everything should be done in a proper way, and also work including, right? And you are looking at the price tag at approximately 54,000 for the Tobique license, which, as I said, is the middle ground between the Curaçao that costs right now approximately 100,000 for the first year, including also all the maintenance fees and all the ongoing fees, and the Anjouan license that is significantly cheaper than the Curaçao and also cheaper than the Tobique license. So do I recommend the Tobique license? Well, it depends on case by case. So for example, if you want to go to the market fast, and you have specific markets that do not require the Tobique, you have a business vision that, you know, fits the Anjouan license, then we will discuss this part, and if it makes sense for you to go with the Tobique, we will advise you to go with the Tobique license. Every single case is different, and in some cases you want to diversify risks, you want to have 2 or 3 licenses, and then to split different markets also based on the licenses from that perspective. Yes, definitely, the market has taken the main role in the gambling industry. So there are over 60 licensees already, and the Kanawagi, since 1996, they have just around 50. So something that took for Kanawagi 30 years to achieve, the Tobique has done that in less than 2 years. And definitely they are growing, and probably they will grow in the future. So there is a reason why they grow. There is a reason why people vote with their wallets, why they pay for it, why they get it. It's all the process of the discovery to understand what your business needs, and then to make a proper decision and to move on along with this. So that's it about the Tobique license, right down to the point without any mess. And I hope it was helpful for you, and I see you in my next video. Thank you. Bye.